Hi there, this is Eric Tars. I'm the Human Rights Staff Attorney with the National Law Center on Homelessness and Poverty. I'd like to thank your organizers at your Rebellious Lawyering Conference for inviting me to reach you by webcam, but with all due respect to your organizers, if you wanted to see real rebellious lawyering, they're all here with me in Geneva, because what we are doing here is building a new rebellious lawyering culture of a whole new kind. I know a lot of you probably went to law school with the thought that you were going to be able to give a voice to the oppressed, to speak for the people who can't speak for themselves. What we're doing here is just a little bit different. We are standing together with the oppressed. We certainly have our own voice that we do speak with and use, but we allow the oppressed folks to speak for themselves. And this is a critical difference because it's not what happens in a lot of legal situations out there, as you may find out when you go out and begin your careers. But the process by what we are doing is a very involved one, and I'll just explain a little bit about it. So back in April of 2007, the U.S. issued its report to the UN Committee on the Elimination of Racial Discrimination, basically giving them a picture of what discrimination looks like in the U.S. from a very, very, very rosy perspective. We as the non-governmental community obviously had some alternative views on that, and so we pulled together working groups where we worked in different issue areas and across issue areas to try and respond to that report. But in doing that, we were lawyers, we were activists, we were folks from the very grassroots level who were sharing their stories as we were weaving in the legal arguments, and we were educating each other through this process. So that then when we got here to Geneva, we've been giving briefings to the committee before they reviewed the U.S., where it wasn't lawyers speaking to them, it was the directly affected people, youth from Chicago, who was speaking about how he was, living in public housing and having the police come every day to him, having horrendous conditions of life in the projects, but then also he was able to not just tell that story, but say this is a human rights violation under this treaty. And it's you could see how it had a very deep impact on the committee members to hear that story, but also to hear that analysis coming from the voices of the directly affected people. Now, that's not to say that lawyers don't have a role to this, especially very good rebellious lawyers. Back in 2006, I was actually here for the hearings of the